Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. Welcome to the full-time show. Arsenal from 2-0 up have drawn 2-2 at Anfield. People aren't happy with me on Twitter. And look, some people disagree in the comments. Let me just say one thing, yeah. There's positives, there's negatives. We're going to explore them all. When I'm talking about the positives, that doesn't mean that everything was great. When I'm talking about the negatives, that doesn't mean I'm really negative and all that, nor was Frank and all that. We're going to get some other guests as well. If you have a point, if you want to argue with what we think, here's your chance. Get onto the AFTV Plus app, download it, it's free. It's very easy on your phone or whatever device you're using to criticise everything we think, which is fine. Everyone has different opinions. You can come on, you can chat to us, and we could debate it. Because some people aren't happy, some people are looking at the positives.
I can just see this live chat already, and it seems to be a complete 50-50.
That's fine, and that's fine. And we're here to have good discussion. Look, some people saying we bottled it. Some people saying it's a good point, we could have lost. Some people say we lost the league.
What?
Whatever you like. Okay.
But just on that bottled it point, I just need to make this clear. Yes, the way it happened is painful. You know, being 2-0 up at Anfield and then them coming back. Listen, first of all, great performance from Liverpool to come back from that sort of result. But a point at Anfield, no matter what season it is a brilliant point for any team. City would go to Anfield and be happy with a point at Anfield. So why can't we?
City had 2 games with Liverpool last season, both ended 2-2. But City also had a crunch game at the Etihad, and Liverpool were on their tails, and it ended 2-2. Like, you know, I think these really big fixtures have rarely been the decider. What might be different is when City play Arsenal and there's only 4 or 5 games to go. Here's my take on it all. If you're 2-0 up and you draw 2-2, does it have to be you bottled it?
No.
You know, so let's go back a month ago. Okay. Let's go back a month ago when we beat Bournemouth 3-2 and we were 2-0 down. Did Bournemouth bottle it? I think we really earned that win. I think we played really well and we found a way. And I want to be fair and say that Liverpool also, after that, you know, a little bit of an altercation, whatever, and then they get the goal on it 2-1. I think they rose their levels, and I think people, I think they're being far too short-sighted if they just go, yeah, but it's Liverpool. Yeah, but they're 8th. Yeah, but the home record is still very, very good. Still the 3rd best in the league, or was going into this weekend. And add to that, this is still a team, a group of players: Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Canate, Robertson, Alisson, Fabinho. They've all won Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. Everything we aspire to win, they've done it.
Absolutely. And you know, when you say the Bournemouth game, you're referring to the Bournemouth game that we played against them when we won.
Yeah, when we beat them.
Okay, so the difference there in this situation, Bournemouth bottled it in the sense that they went from a winning position to a losing position. We've gone from a winning position to a position where we've still earned a point at Anfield. So I really, and I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone, I don't know what people are talking about when they say we bottled it. We've gone to Anfield where we've infamously been battered 4-5-0 in the past and got a point. We've gone the whole season without being beaten by Liverpool. When was the last time that happened?
Well, I'd also say that so I don't subscribe to the whole Arsenal bottled it thing.
Thank you.
But I also don't think that means Arsenal just, you know, couldn't do anything about how good Liverpool were. I think we made a load of mistakes. I don't really agree with Arteta's subs.
Yep, absolutely.
But maybe easy to say in hindsight. I think Zinchenko's beaten far too easily by Trent with that equaliser. They played really well. I think Rob Holding was a little rash. We got away with it because they missed the pen. I think Martinelli should have squared it to Saka. I thought Martinelli was brilliant other than that.
He did square it to Saka. It just wasn't a good
decision making of the front three in the second half. I thought was really poor.
Yes.
I do think Xhaka got involved unnecessarily with Trent at a time where we had control of the game. So I think we made a lot of errors. But I think so did Liverpool. I think Liverpool made a load of errors. And I think Liverpool's superior. I think Liverpool will be a very good side again next year. Whether they challenge for the titles and they get quite to the level, I don't know. But I think they will get back to a Liverpool that we recognise under Klopp. And I think this was just 2 very good sides going head to head. And it was the same when City played Liverpool last year. These games, they just reach fever pitch. It's intense. They're brilliant. And I tweeted that I was proud of the team. And people said, miserable people online, oh, but they bottled it 2-0. How can you proud? Because where did I say that losing a 2-0 lead was good enough? When did I say that my pride was to do with the way we were 2-0 up and lost it? I'm proud of the team because I saw a group of players that over the years, this club has folded at Anfield. By the way, we've gone 1-up at Anfield before. Lacazette put us 1-0 up. We lost 3-1. Maitland-Niles put us 1-0 up. We lost 5-1. We have led at Anfield before. But the difference is in this game that Arsenal stood up to it, were under the cosh. Yep. And as a team, I actually thought we were a complete mess. I thought tactically in the second half, weren't great at all. But the players all tried to step up and do their bit to get 100%. Over the line. And I'm going to give them credit for it. And if you've got a problem with it, then... your issue.
No, absolutely. And listen, there's two people I want to talk about specifically. One wasn't even really involved in the game, but the first one I want to talk about is Jamie Carragher, because we had the benefit of the commentary for the game.
Can I just, sorry to interrupt you? Tom goes, oh, shut up, James. Come on AFTV Plus, join us, and you can tell it to my face, and we can talk about it.
Anyway, as I was saying, Jamie Carragher was talking absolute rubbish through this entire game. The second that Liverpool scored their second goal, the equaliser, he was talking about, oh, it's all in City's hands now. This is all down to City. Jamie, please just shut up, because it's not. We've still.
Wait, what did he say? Sorry,
I think it was after Liverpool scored their second goal.
Because I like Carragher. I think he's a good pundit.
Yeah, no, but basically he's just saying it's all in Man City's hands now. What's he talking about? We've got 6. We're still 6 points ahead. We're still yet to play them. I don't have a clue what he's talking about.
It sort of is. I mean, it sort of is in City's hands. It's just also in our hands. I went into this in the preview saying that a draw is a good result. I didn't think a draw is a bad point, because I think we need to get something. I think we need to get over something mentally, which is coming to Anfield, playing well, and coming away with something. Now, where it feels really heart-wrenching is that we were 2-0 up. Yes. That is what really hurts. And everyone's going to say, oh, form, whatever. But going into games, people say form goes out the window. And then when it's actually happening and the form's gone out the window, Liverpool playing well in the second half, people want to pretend like it doesn't count. We could have done better. We should have won that game. I agree. Not only because of the chances we conceded, the chances we had, but I just feel like this whole it's in Man City's hands. I think it was always going to tighten up. I don't think we were going to have Liverpool away, City away, Newcastle away, and it not narrow a little bit. What we're hoping is that we do something at the Etihad that keeps us in our control,
which is doable. We've seen it this season with other teams.
I agree with that, and I also thought we played quite well at the Etihad when we lost 1-0 and we'd rotated in the Cup. We've come to Anfield and drawn 2-2. We played really well at Old Trafford, albeit lost. We played really well at the Bridge and won. We've won at Brentford. Like our away record's been good. I just think it's in their hands, but it's still in ours. This is literally the trophy's there in between the two teams, and it's a tug of war now.
No, but I just feel like Jamie was discrediting Arsenal in a way.
No, I think I think he was hyping up the title race, and I kind of agree with that. It is now. And let's take our Arsenal hats off for a second. For the neutral, that's the perfect result, because it's just become so compelling now.
It has.
It's now Man City. If they win all their games, they've got it. If Arsenal win all their games, they've got it. In fact, Arsenal don't have to win all their games. We've got 8 games left. We have to win 7, draw 1.
We've got 8 games left. That's like that. We can afford. We can still, after, listen to this. We've got 8 games left to go, and we can still afford to lose a single game after going to Anfield away. We're in a fantastic position. Still,
I don't think we can afford to lose a game.
No, but we said that we had this conversation after. I think, what game was it? I think it was the last game where we said we can afford to lose one more game all season. I remember having this conversation with you.
But I think that what I meant is drop points, and I think these are the drop points that we've just had. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel that City are still going to drop points somewhere, and that's why I still think, and I stand by my point. This is still a good result. It's shit the way it's happened, but a draw at Anfield. I don't understand how you can think any different. A draw at Anfield, whether you're Bournemouth, whether you're Arsenal, whether you're Southampton, anyone, it's a good result at Anfield, because Anfield is one of the hardest stadiums in the world to go to and get a result. History proves it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of that. I'm just reading comments, I'm saving super chats, I'm reading what people are saying. Let me just go through some comments. Oh, that's a lot of comments. Here we go. No, I'm not going to read that one. Sorry, I did read it. I'm just going to make sure. I've just seen that super chat from Mbid who said Arsenal bottling coming. Well,
why? It confuses me why people want to pay a super chat to make that kind of comment.
Well, if they got the money for it, do what you want.
Good for you.
Tweem says City played them this season at Anfield and lost. I agree. That was earlier in the season. Arsenal all the way with Super Chat said, what's most shocking about this game is that Liverpool's expected goals was 4.76, which is the highest they've had all season, all competitions apparently. Honestly happy we have left with the draw. But Arsenal all the way, see, I'm playing a bit devil's advocate here. There's kind of two ways to look at it. On the one hand, came away with a draw. They had a lot of chances. They had a really high XG, all that. On the other hand, I'd say, why did we concede so many chances to Liverpool?
Absolutely.
Why did we concede so many big moments to them? But Ramsdale stood up to it. And a round of applause for Ramsdale, by the way.
You need to give
Am I allowed to be proud of him? Am I allowed to be proud of him? We're 2-0 up, we're letting 2 goals. Am I allowed to be proud of Aaron Ramsdale? He's unbelievable.
That
well
Canate
played.
save, the pressure of it is the save of the season for me. It's what is it? I think that's the 89th minute or something like that. Practically an open goal for Canate, and Ramsdale manages to get a hand on it. I love this man. We've gone from a struggling Petr Cech back in the day to Aaron Ramsdale, and the transition has just been beautiful. What a performance from Aaron Ramsdale. What's that?
Unbelievable.
I'm sure there was 4 or 5 very good saves in this game, and it baffles me how he's still not England's #1 goalkeeper. It really does.
Kaushik says, as soon as Firmino came on, I knew he would score. He always scores against us, but we played really well. No complaints.
I'm sure Strick
Come
said
on,
that
you
as well.
Gunners. Yeah, he said it as well.
You could just see it.
DSE says, James, you talk up Zinchenko every week, but always fail to say he's very below par at defending. He never makes a tackle and shadows and gets done every time, but you're wishing Tierney well at his new club. Look, we all have opinions in football. I respect your opinion. My opinion is that you're talking rubbish. That's just my opinion. And never makes a tackle, only shadows, gets done every time. He did on the Trent goal. I thought defensively, what do you do wrong? What do you do wrong defensively? It's a bad moment, and he knows it. He knows it.
You could see him on the side. You could see him on the sideline after he went off.
Yeah.
He was heartbroken.
Really disappointed with himself. He shouldn't have been done by Trent like that. I agree, but Tierney was pretty much in on goal and absolutely shanked one wide.
That annoyed me so much. And you know what?
And also, I said I'll keep Tierney. I said if he goes, I wish him well because I like him. So
that's not you saying you want to lose Kieran Tierney.
Yeah,
Tierney's a great player. I mean, it's just unfortunate that we've got a better player in Zinchenko that's keeping him out of the team, because Tierney, apart from maybe City and Liverpool, Tierney starts for any other Premier League club.
Dave says Arteta was naive to bring Kivior on and go to 5 at the back. Oh, sorry, never mind. My generic criticism, Bot is malfunctioning. Point at Anfield is decent, to be honest.
Thank you,
Dave. I'm not sure which bit is the sarcastic bit, but I agree with both. I think a point at Anfield is decent. Even though it happened the way it happened, that is very disappointing, and we'll have a look at why that happened the way it happened. But I also agree. I think Arteta panicked too much bringing on Kivior. And actually, forget that. I think the only substitution I have a real issue with, and we were saying it in the game, and you can vouch for me on this.
Yep.
I wanted Saka off because I didn't think he was having a good second half. Yeah. And I thought bring Trossard on the right for some energy and some work ethic. That was Jesus, even though the ref wasn't giving it. Giving fouls. He had Van Dijk and Canate pinned every single time the ball came up to him. No, so I think he got that wrong, Arteta.
I think he got pretty much all of the changes wrong today. I think the issue with Kivior is I actually think we were a little bit worse when we went to a more defensive position, and he has thrown Kivior right in the deep end with that one. I think personally, people had their opinions about Rob Holding. Apart from the penalty, I actually thought Rob Holding played fairly well.
Yeah,
I think the only defensive change that you needed to make there was bringing Zinchenko off. Yeah. Not because of a bad performance. It's just because you needed the extra legs, because as the game got later on, Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold were always going to beat Zinchenko for pace.
Yeah, I agree.
You needed to bring Kieran Tierney on to level that up a little bit. I think that's the only defensive change you had to make. And like you said, I think Saka had to be the person to come off for Leandro Trossard. You could see it when Gabriel Jesus came off. He was a bit like, "What, me? Really?" Yeah. I didn't see why he brought Jesus off, but I'm not the manager. I'm not the tactical genius here.
Caleb says, James, we were 2-1 up after 86 minutes and through it. We also missed a great chance at the end. We should feel very upset. Caleb, here's the key thing, yeah? I've never said Arsenal fans shouldn't be upset. I've never said Arsenal fans should be disappointed. I feel gutted at the fact that we didn't win, considering the position we were in that game. But I respect the effort the boys put in. I respect the first half performance. I'm encouraged by the first half performance, and I respect the effort levels from every single player out there.
Absolutely.
Did Arteta get it a bit wrong? Sure, but we're in this position because of Arteta. What do you want me to do? Throw my toys out the pram?
Exactly.
Slate the manager, slate the players. They've put us in this position, and they've come out with a draw against a side that have won it all. Even Man City haven't won the Champions League yet, and this group of Liverpool players did. Just have some respect for who we were playing.
Absolutely.
For what Anfield can be. We went there, we played some brilliant football. We could have had more goals. They could have had more goals. It's a point each.
I'm happy with the point. I'm just not happy with the way we did it. That's all.
Vlad also making the point that Liverpool had a 4.76 XG.
Can we also just remember that Liverpool missed a penalty? We could have lost this game.
Yeah.
We could have lost this game. And then what?
Kuzman says, we Madrid won 5-2. What are you talking about? We just bottled it. Oh, okay.
What's
Sorry.
this got to do with Madrid?
Sorry. Are we Real Madrid? Have we won 5 of the last 8 Champions Leagues or whatever? Like, was there a second leg to come? Like, what? Like, how are you comparing? Madrid are unbelievable. They win Champions League after Champions League. Like, I get what you're saying, yeah? That Liverpool are vulnerable. But we took advantage. We scored 2 goals. We were 2-0 up at Anfield. We were playing really well. And we could have had more goals. I'm telling you now, none of you are thinking about the fact that we conceded 2 goals. If Martin squares at Saka and he scores.
It's just the poor. The thing is,
it just happens. It just happens.
It's life. We've just got to get on with it. We've not lost the game.
We should have done better. We didn't. But I'm proud of the team.
Absolutely.
Is what it is.
Completely agree.
US Citizen says, as a Man City fan, we're going to smash you guys. Cool. You might. By the way, just smashing us isn't enough. You've got to be perfect in every other game. So if you do, fair play to you. You'll have deserved it. Restrict says, chance of us drawing, winning at the Etihad. I don't think we'll win. I think we can get a point. We just got a point at Anfield. I don't think City will... I don't think it'll be a cauldron. I don't think it'll be a heated affair like today was at Anfield. I think it will be more like if we lose, then it'll be because across the game they just controlled us. I think if there's more of a fire, a battle like that, then I think we've got every chance of coming through it. Ben says we should have lost it. We could have lost it. We also could have won it.
We could have lost that game. And if we would have lost that game from being in a winning position, just like I said about the Bournemouth point earlier, then we would have bottled it. 100%. But we've not lost the game. I think people don't understand the fact that we've still earned.
I get why it feels like a loss. I feel frustrated as well, but yeah. I think there's so many positives, and people just want to come here and just, I don't know, just rant and moan about everything that went wrong. But I think there's things that we can be proud of with this team. Farhan says, James, you're too positive. That's not being negative for the sake of it. I still think we win the title, but we made so many mistakes. We need to speak on it, and Liverpool weren't great. Cool. Farhan, you're right. There were mistakes. And we're going to talk about it when we get calls in a minute. For anyone who is deeply offended by everything I'm saying, get on AFTV Plus, come debate it with us. I'm inviting you all. We can have a really good discussion. Brian quickly says, what is the general feeling at the studio? It's disappointment, but I think it's an appreciation for
100%
the work that the players did. The criticisms and the things I think we did wrong.
Yep.
I think, and I know that the Xhaka defenders will come at me for this, I think Xhaka getting involved with Trent did a similar thing to what Arteta getting involved with Klopp did last year, where it lit a flame under the crowd. And I just think at that point there was an extra fight. I think we were in such cruise control at that point that the Liverpool players might have been thinking, oh my word, we can't live with them. But then by the end it wasn't that, because I think because the Xhaka altercation with Trent just got them going.
Absolutely, and listen, it was always going to happen. I said to you before the game, I had a dream that Granit Xhaka got a red card in this game, and you know what? I'm surprised. I wouldn't say I'm surprised that he didn't, but I feel like it was the right decision to. We did take him off, didn't we? Maybe not Granit Xhaka.
No, we
didn't take him off. I'm surprised we didn't take him off, because after that yellow card, I think we were saying it on the information station over here. It was almost bound to be a Granit Xhaka red card at some point. So it surprised me that we didn't take it. Ultimately, I didn't
really well
actually.
Bar that one moment.
Ultimately, I didn't.
Really good bar that one moment.
I didn't agree with Mikel. I think the only negative for me today is the fact that I didn't agree with Mikel's changes.
Well, I think
not the only negative.
I think there are negatives. I think Zinchenko does lose composure when Trent's there one-on-one. This isn't Mo Salah. Trent isn't one who normally. He's not the kind of fullback that beats his man and delivers. He's a get me into space, and my cross is so good that actually from most areas I can execute it. And Zinchenko got beaten far too easily there. I also think you've got to ask your questions about the marking. How's Firmino pulled off to the back post when you've got 3 centre-backs?
Yeah.
I think Martinelli, Saka, both made errors in the final third when it came to the second half and the opportunities when it opened up. Having said that, Saka puts it in a great area for Gabriel, and he should score. So, we had our moments. First half, I thought Martin and Saka were brilliant. Martin especially.
Absolutely brilliant.
I think man of the match is Ramsdale.
100%.
And then I give Gabriel Partey, Martinelli.
Yeah. But
who else? They were probably the 3 standouts for me.
Jesus. I think Jesus played generally quite well.
Yeah, I thought we played.
I'd put Jesus in that pool. But I think the point that we've got to make here, and we're not. I'm also going to give Aaron Ramsdale man of the match. But normally when a goalkeeper gets man of the match, it's because the rest of the outfield team doesn't perform well. That is not the case in this point. It's just that Ramsdale was so good in this game. Without Ramsdale, we lose that game 6-2 for me.
I think we lose that game without Ramsdale. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you've got to give Ramsdale the credit, and that includes giving him the man of the match over any outfield player. And that takes away from a goal and an assist from Gabriel Martinelli. There were people, like I said, that didn't want him to start. I think he was justified in starting today, and he proved that on the pitch.
Yeah, I thought he was brilliant. Let's talk about some of the positives. Obviously, we do go 2-0 up. Some of the football was absolutely brilliant.
Yep.
And I think, and I asked Turkish this question in his fan camp, I think the one thing the players would have learned is, or I hope that they remember, is we just went to Anfield and played like that. I'm not being funny. I don't remember City with a full Anfield crowd going to Anfield and playing quite that well. And I think when they have, their games have ended 2-2 as well. You know, it's such a difficult place to come. I think the players should come out of there going, we're serious. And people will go, yeah, but you're not, because you dropped a 2-0 lead. I don't care. Look at the football we played for a lot. For some of that, for the first half, and then the chances in the second half. I think you've got to take the positives.
No, 100%. And I hope that the players went, I'm not saying this in a negative way, I hope the players went back into that changing room all pissed off with each other, because we need that to fire them up for these next few games. I can't remember
I think they'll be okay with each other. I think they'll go.
No, this is the same way I'm talking about the fans being pissed off with it, in the sense that I don't think they're going to be unhappy about the result. I think they're going to be unhappy in the way that it's happened. So I hope they take that, use it to fire themselves up for these last 8 games, because we've got one more team. I can't remember if it was Southampton or West Ham. It's one of the two. Then we've got the big game against City. So they need to take that motivation and fire, and they need to take it into these next games, because these next 2 games, for me, will decide who wins the Premier League trophy.
The next 2 games.
The next 2 games. Because this is the point I've been trying to make on these streams, but I don't think we've ever got around to it. I think the Premier League title comes potentially down to game week 33, which is the game that we've got against, is it 33 or 32? Basically the game we got against Manchester City. Okay. If we go into that game still above Manchester City and get at least a point, I think we've won the league. If we go into that game and we lose that game, I think it goes right down to the last day. But ultimately, I think it could potentially be decided against Man City.
I mean, I've got to say, it's a really, really compelling title race.
It really is. I think it's definitely the best, probably the best since, the whole Captain Marvel, Vincent Kompany decider.
Yeah, that was mad.
That was a great one.
Who did they beat to it? Was it Liverpool?
Liverpool.
Yeah. And this is the thing, right? This is the thing that I think people forget, that City, they might be perfect, but they'll be made to work hard for it, in my opinion. And I sincerely hope we make them work hard for it. City last year were 2-0 down at West Ham and pulled it back to 2-2. They dropped points in what felt like a run in which no one could drop points.
Yep.
Liverpool dropped points at home to Tottenham. I never said that I thought both teams would be perfect between now and the end of the season. And if we're going to get a point anywhere, I think away at Anfield, in a game in which we did quite a bit of bad, but we also did a lot of good, I think that, you know what, I'll take it. I didn't think we were going to be perfect. We haven't been, but I think there's a lot to be proud of. Let's get the callers in, and we're going to fly through all of them.
I think this could be an interesting one, James.
I think we're
going to have a lot of different opinions here.
Lots of thoughts on how people are feeling. I take my glasses off because my eyes hurt. Wow, what a game. What a game.
But Arsenal fans, I just got a quick message, just stay confident, because this is still in our hands as far as I'm concerned.
Let's bring in Classic. Classic, welcome. Have we got Classic? Yep, welcome. Hey, Classic, how you doing?
Hi, Classic.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Disappointed?
Looking at the positives. What about you?
Yeah, same here. A little gutted, a little frustrated, definitely, for sure, after that result. I got a few things to say, and then I also want to just give some shout-outs to all the fans and Ashburton Army, because there's been so many games throughout the season where I hear those drums going as almost as if it's the World Cup going on, and it's big for us as fans here at home in the United States to hear that going on, because it just adds a whole nother level of intensity when it comes to our away form and everything that's going on. Also want to give a shout out to the LA Gooners, Taylor at the LA Gooners, and the LA Gooners in general. I spent 7 or 8 years over there, waking up at 4 a.m. and watching all the games over there. So big shout out to them. And then I don't know if you guys remember, but I was on here about a month ago, and
I remember.
For what reason there wasn't great connection. I have a little present for you guys to start off this thing, and it's a brand new Arsenal
wow.
that's being brought into the world.
That is brilliant.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Massive congratulations.
Do you know what? I remember him speaking about it now.
I
as
do
well.
remember.
Yeah.
I do remember you saying.
So, just I'll give you the short story, but long story short is his name, Johannes Amir Odegaard.
Really?
Kind of a last minute thing, but yeah,
Wow.
we had to throw Odegaard in there because of just the season we're having, and with the birth of a new era, I feel like that we're embarking on right now. It's such an honor to have a new fan here as well. So
that's really lovely. Now I'm going to give you the chance to put it on the line here. Are we winning it? Yes or no?
Yeah, I do. I really do believe that we're going to win it. And as a fan of almost 20 years, I mean, you have no idea how much emotion I had today, and in every game that we've been playing, because I'm yelling and screaming at the TV every time we lose the ball. But in today's match, I think that first 30 minutes, I think we all will agree, we were dominant on the ball, and we did really well to kind of, off the ball, gain it back high up the field and play the kind of style of football we've been playing all season. And then, unfortunately, as that 30-minute mark came along, it became evident that we were kind of playing more of a defensive mindset and more of a counter-attacking style. I think that was really evident, and I almost feel like it was intentional as well from a strategy standpoint with Mikel Arteta, because just the way they kind of started sitting back a little bit more, and then that was even evident, I think, at the beginning of the second half, how much they were kind of just trying to soak up the pressure and play on the counter. But my man of the match was Partey, because once again, I think we've been saying
I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, he was just under so much pressure. There'd be like 3 or 4 Liverpool players around him, and he was just finding his way out of them, and then passing it to someone on the outside or through the middle, and creating something. And then also defensively, you could see him tracking back at times, anticipating some balls that were coming in behind, and just being there to intercept. But it quickly became Ramsdale. Obviously, in that last 20 minutes, I think he pulled off some world-class saves that you really can't. I mean, he's clearly the man of the match. But yeah,
he was unbelievable.
I just obviously a little gutted because we should have won that game, but I think that we took our foot off the gas pedal after about 35 minutes or so. But yeah.
Right, absolute pleasure, Classic, and welcome to the world. Your new young baby Gooner, and lots of love in the comments as well from people. So, go take it easy tonight.
Say one last thing, James. Overall, I think we need to have a positive mindset right now. Objectively speaking, This was not a lose. This was a point gained, and going forward, just like you guys are saying, we need to just keep that mentality, positivity, because this is unprecedented. And going to Anfield and getting a point is a plus for sure.
I agree. Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much. Take care.
Right.
And now we've got Deeney to join us.
Here we go. How's it going, Deeney?
What's going on, boys? Good evening. I feel like everyone just needs to take a deep breath. Everyone just needs to take a deep breath.
Absolutely. And
just calm down. Because I would rather be us right now than be Man City 6 points behind with a game in hand. Because Man City, they would rather have points on the board than be 6 points behind. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like everyone needs to relax. We've gone to Anfield. We haven't won there since 2011. We still haven't won there. But as I said last week, the bare minimum, just don't lose the game. Just don't lose the game, and we come out of there with a point. I think it was this point last year. I think Tottenham came out of Anfield with a point, and it was seen as a big thing towards the end of last season and the end of the day. So it's like, as annoying as it seems right now, and in that first half an hour, we were absolutely brilliant, scintillating football, and we were in cruise control. Anfield was silent. It was perfect, and then the match just turned into, it could be a classic. It could be seen as a classic towards the end of the season, and it turns into a 2-2 thriller. And that 5 minutes at the end of the game where Ramsdale makes he makes a crazy save, and then literally, if Martinelli just takes a breath, if he just takes a breath and takes a moment, looks up and sees Saka, we potentially win that game 3-2.
There's not a possibility Saka misses that. There's not a possibility Saka misses that.
I think it's a nailed on 3-2 win, and I think
Alisson's great in the 1-on-1.
But Saka's great generally.
It's and I would have backed on Saka, but it's like in those moments, those are those moments where you need to take that breath and just like, because in Nelson in the 3-2 win, just before he smacks it in the top corner, you see he takes a moment and then he takes a shot, and that's what it comes down to sometimes. Because we still could have won the game, we could have lost it, but we didn't lose it. And honestly, I'm comfortable. I'm happy right now. We need to go. I think it's next game. I think it's next time.
West Ham. Yeah.
And then it's City. So honestly, I'm confident right now because
Deeney.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry to cut you. You made a great reference to them lot down the road last year. They went to Anfield. They went 1-0 up, and actually they were playing well. They're holding out, and then they conceded. It was a deflected goal, right? They could have, Liverpool could have won that game. Spurs probably had other chances in the game. But you're right. It was seen as points dropped. But I think that was the day that we not lost top four, but the momentum started to swing, because suddenly I think the Spurs players thought, okay, we know what we're doing here. Yeah. And they found something that worked for them. And I think they took more positives out of the performance and the way they battled in that game. Now look, this season on, it's not progressed that way, of course. But we're honestly now just thinking about the next 8 games. How many games are there left?
8 games.
8 games left.
At least, yeah.
And I think the Spurs players took a lot out of that last year. And I think you're right. I need Arsenal to do the same. And it's very rare that I say Arsenal be more like Spurs. No, never. But there's definitely, look at Frank's eye. But I do think mentally they turned that performance at Anfield into a positive. And I think we need to, because it's happened now, I think we need to try and do the same.
It is a positive. We don't need to turn it into a positive. It's a positive.
No, but there's a rightful debate around being 2-0 up and then nearly losing it.
I kind of get that, but we didn't lose ultimately. So
yeah,
I'm happy
we didn't
with
win.
Anfield.
Like,
Yeah,
so
no, I get it. I get
the
it.
negativity. I get the frustration. I just think this Liverpool team, right? We're all lauding what Man United do. Someone's just reminded me by putting Seven Haag in the group. In the group chat in the comments. It's so true that they've got it in them to just turn it on, especially at Anfield. Like they've turned up in big games, and at Anfield they turned on. Deeney, final thoughts? Are we gonna win it? Are we gonna win the league? Have you changed your mind or not?
I'm gonna sit on this. Honestly, I thought I believe that when we beat Bournemouth, and I'm sitting on that. I'm sitting on that till the rest of the season. I believe we won the league when we beat Bournemouth 3-2 in the last minute. That's where I think we won the league. So we just need to stay calm, take each game as it comes, and big game at the Etihad coming up. Big game, but we've got West Ham first, so we need to win that game. Yes.
Fair enough. Deeney, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Deeney.
Always a pleasure, boys. Take care. Enjoy your weekend.
Cheers.
You too.
Who's next to join us? Who have we got? Oh, Deeney's still there. I've just left.
There we go. Cut him off. He said he's still there.
He said he's still
Classic.
there. They got it on. Let's bring on Austin to join us.
How's it going, Austin?
Welcome, Austin.
I'm doing all right. Obviously disappointed. Obviously disappointed with the result, but like you said, we have to take the positives out of this result. It cannot just be negative. Yes, are we disappointed? Yes, we are, but we cannot be negative. Because let's reflect on the last 2 seasons when we faced Liverpool at the Emirates, at Anfield, we lost. Whereas this season, we beat Liverpool and the Emirates, and we did not lose to Liverpool at Anfield.
Look, I agree. We've taken 4 points from 6 against Liverpool, and I thought Liverpool played really well in both games. Maybe the second half of the game at the Emirates, we were the better team. But people are so quick to just go, oh, they're 8th, oh, they lost to a load of teams, so they must be rubbish. Like, football doesn't work that way. Like, these players are the same. Klopp said in the press conference, these are still the same players. He's still the same manager. And what we did was we took advantage of their insecurities and we went 2-0 up. But when they had no choice but to play, they did turn it on. And look, we could have won, we could have lost. We got somewhere in the middle.
Yes. We got somewhere in the middle. And that's the most important thing. And, as Arsenal fans, like all of us, we cannot be negative because the Arsenal players, they also rely on us. They rely on our voice. We need to make, we need to chant. We need to make our voice loud and clear to them because they need that motivation to win that league.
Yeah, I completely agree. Do you think? Oh, sorry, the audio's coming in and out. Do you think we're going to win it?
We are going to win it.
Love that. Because
the way Arsenal keeps bouncing back. Look at Arsenal's results. Yes, we have some drawbacks in the past, but the way Arsenal bounce back and that mentality of bouncing back, and I'm sure after this game they'll be looking back at this game, seeing where they possibly go wrong. What could they do next time to avoid the same mistake? It's not only the players, it's Arteta as well.
Yeah, I think mistakes were made in the game, but I think ultimately I can't get too on the players and the manager when it's their decisions and the way they've done their jobs that have got us into this position in the first place, you know? Always.
Absolutely, but my point is that the players have that mentality of learning from their own mistakes, learning from, let's say, if they've made some mistakes and some of the drawbacks we had in the past, their mentality of willing to learn from their mistakes and keep improving is what I believe is going to drive us to win the title.
I really hope we get over the line. Thank you for calling. Really appreciate it. There's a comment here from Jacob who says, "This is top tier propaganda, very selective of who gets to speak, I see. Most of the chat isn't happy, yet 3 straight callers positive." Jacob, download the app. We'll make sure we get you on. In fact, I've never done a full time in which not every single person who's called has had their say. So you're more than welcome to come join us. We've got Emmanuel join us in just a second. I'm just going to read out a super chat. Anthony says, seems like a defeat with 4 points out of 6 this season. And King Gunner says, it's a point gain. Man City fans would have thought we would lose today. Point gain, same point we will gain against City. We are winning the league. I do think City fans will be both happy we dropped points, but also thinking they just went to Anfield and did what we didn't do.
And the thing is, I want to bring up this Anfield point again because I'm glad he mentioned it as well. The progress that we've come on. It's all about progress for me. We are in a title race at the moment. Last season we were in a Champions League race. Obviously we got knocked out of the Europa League early. Last year we weren't even in Europe. We've gone to Anfield where we infamously get battered all of the time, and we've got a point. It's all about progress. All I'm seeing is progress from this Arsenal team.
I agree. I'm seeing a lot of progress. Who have we got? Sorry, I was just told, but Emmanuel's joining us. Let's get Emmanuel in. Emmanuel,
hi,
how you
Emmanuel.
doing?
Hey, James. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, all good, all good. Look, a lot of debate around where we should sit on the positive, negative scale. Where are you with it?
I think it was always going to come down to that City game. It was if we win today, it's 5 points. That's still nothing. It's disappointing to give up a 2-goal lead, but we're gonna have to go do something at the Etihad. So if we do something there, then if we get a draw there, we stay 3 points clear, and it's all good, and we can afford to draw to like Newcastle going forward. So
I agree.
Yeah, I'm the fourth positive caller, I guess. I'm still positive. Let's keep it going. I'm still happy about the team. Yeah.
I think the one thing this has done is it's forced Arsenal to now be borderline perfect. And I include a draw at the Etihad. I think not losing at the Etihad and then being perfect in every other game is sort of crucial now. Would you agree with that?
Exactly. Yeah. It is. We have to go. It's the Etihad. That game is going to be crazy. I'm excited to see it. I don't know why it's on a Wednesday. It's on a Wednesday we can't. Yeah, out here in Canada, it's like a 12:00 game, so it sucks. But we'll be there watching it on a game. Yeah.
Do you think Man City will drop points one more time this season?
Yep.
Outside of our game,
they're going clear. They're not dropping a single point from here on out. It's us against them. It's 1-on-1. It's a big fight. If you want it, we got to take it. It comes down to that. What do you think?
I can see City dropping a few points. Not a few. I still think we're going to go and get the draw at the Etihad, and I can't tell you exactly what game it is. This is not the same Manchester City team this season as we've seen in previous seasons. They are getting there, but they still look beatable. I'm not saying they're going to lose.
I hate that.
Outside of the Arsenal game, I think they're going to drop points somewhere. It might be a draw, it might be a loss. I don't know what team it's going to be against. I don't know what the result's going to be. But this City team are beatable this season. We're not playing against an unbeatable Man City.
Yeah,
that's the way I
see what Helen did yesterday. That's the problem. That's the difference. It's talent. That goal. Like he had like 2 touches in the first half, and he ended up scoring a goal. So that's if you have a player like that, then you can't count him out, especially against who they're playing against. They have nobody left. They have no good teams left to play except for us, I think. So good luck to us.
They've got what I call awkward fixtures, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Look, absolute pleasure chatting to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Man.
Take care.
Thank you so much, guys. All right, take care.
Always a pleasure. Who else have we got to join us? We have Gene. Gene's coming on. Gene, how you doing?
Hi, Gene.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. First of all, I would like to say a big shout out to AFTV.
Thank you.
My first time here on the comment. And,
It's great to have you.
Today was kind of tough. In my opinion, it's 2 points drop because we were 2-0 up.
Yeah, I hear that.
After that, it comes to me maturity with Granit Xhaka, a little bit lack of professionalism with Martinelli passing the ball to Saka. At the end, it's a 2-point drop for me.
Big moment.
Now, the only thing we can control it's ourselves. We can't control what City's doing because we're not City, we Arsenal. So we need to take our game to win the rest of our games, and we gotta pick up that big trophy.
Do you think the team will take confidence? Do you think they'll come away from that and go, wow, like look at that, look at the way we played for a lot of that game? Yes, the second half we were battered by Liverpool in that second half, I get that. First half I thought we largely battered them for most of the game. Do you think Arsenal just have to take the positives out of that now?
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely. We need to take the positive out and then move forward, because the first 35 minutes of that game before Liverpool scored, we were the better team. We controlled the game, our passes, and after the score, it's like we turned around and we playing defensive. And we got a big up Ramsdale. Great game. All to the second goal between Shevchenko and Alexander-Arnold. I still can get it going to my mind. I don't want to pick up one player, but I think Shevchenko is a better midfielder than a left back. That's my opinion. And these are some of the little things we need to correct. I missed Saliba today, my friend.
Yeah.
But you can see when he's not around, how our defense is a little bit shaky.
I agree. I'm so sorry to cut you because you make some great points, but it's actually really quiet on our end, so we have to do some technical stuff in the background. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate your thoughts. Thank you. Who else have we got to join us next? We have Lee Jacobs joining us. Let's get Lee on. Hey Lee, how you doing?
Hi Lee.
Where are you? Where's your frustration, anger, pride? Where is it all at the moment?
Okay, so I'm not coming with negative or positive. I'm coming as a neutral. I think a lot of our fans, and this is something that I think we need to, as Arsenal fans, realize. No one expected us to be 6 points ahead of City with a game in hand at this point in the season.
Thank you.
I think what's happening is you have a lot of fans from other clubs who are probably not doing as well as well. They won't be because they're not top of the league. And they come in at us and they're talking about bottling, they're talking about all of these things, and they're missing the point. No one expected us to be where we are. You guys probably didn't expect us to be where we are right now. So at the end of the day, forget about City, whether they're going to drop points. This is my opinion. Forget about them, whether they will drop points or not. That's not up to us. We can control our own games. Whether we get over the line or not, I think what us as fans need to realize, we need to get behind this team. And the reason we need to get behind this team is because they are the proportions that they are giving us this season, like the levels that they are giving us this season, none of us expected. And if you go back to the beginning, the first, let's call it the first quarter, the first third of the season, what were we as Arsenal fans saying? We were saying, you know what, we can win the league, we have the chance to win the league, but we were enjoying being Arsenal fans this season. We have our old Arsenal back. We've got a team that can go to Anfield and get a point. We haven't had that in how many seasons? So I think at the end of the day, there is that side of it, where you need to look at the positives in that sense, where the team has gotten to now. but we're still in transition.
Yeah, I agree.
So the thing is, yes, Mikel Arteta should have, my opinion, he should have brought on Deeney. He should have brought on a leader like Jorginho, who's experienced in these types of games, instead of bringing on Kivio. We can all say these things, but you know what? Just like this team is getting better and learning, so is our manager. He's not won a Premier League, he's not won a Champions League, but he's doing an extremely good job at putting up one of the best title races we've seen in years. So I think at the end of the day, the time for Arsenal fans to get behind this team is now. This doubt and this talking about bottling, that's not going to help the team. This is the time to actually do it. When it's tight, when City are on our tails, that's the time as Arsenal fans that we should be doing this. So that's what I want to say.
I completely agree. Jason in the comment section said if Man City were 2-0 up, they win that game. Yeah, but here's the key thing, Jason. They weren't 2-0 up at Anfield and they lost 1-0. Like, yeah, you're probably right, but you've got to earn the right to be 2-0 up. You don't just get given it. You're not just, oh, you get to start the game 2-0 up today. Let's see if you can hold on for 90 minutes. It's not how football works. Arsenal played really well to get themselves in that position. And when things went wrong, their really good work from earlier in the game meant that they at least came out with a point. And we could have lost. And we could have won. It just, it's just one of those. But Man City, the year Brendan Rodgers Liverpool bottled it, Man City went to Anfield, massive game. Liverpool went 2-0 up. City pulled it back to 2-2. Coutinho won it. They lost at Anfield. They still won it. They still won the league because Liverpool dropped it somewhere else. Man City, I said that earlier, last season, they drew 2-2 at West Ham and been 2-0 down. Things will happen in a title race. I would rather look at how far this team has come and the character in terms of the commitment and how much they all fronted up to the challenge. Yes, they didn't actually do particularly well in that second half at all. Liverpool could have won it, but I didn't see any players that shied away from it, in my opinion. I don't know what you think of that.
I agree with you 100%. And the other thing we need to remember, City have won the title how many years? They're going for a Champions League, which they haven't won. But at the end of the day, I think the most important thing we need to remember here, City have not beaten Liverpool at Anfield this season. First and foremost, that is a psychological difference. We are unbeaten, and I think people also need to realize this. We are unbeaten against Liverpool for the first time in how many seasons?
True, very true.
I don't know if anyone can even answer that question.
Progress.
So the thing is,
progress.
Exactly, it's progress. Whether we actually end up winning the league or not, you know what? You must, us as fans need to be careful of. Now we've gotten a taste of what this team can do and what our manager can produce, and putting too much pressure on this team. We need to back this team. The support and love is what this team needs right now. To say, you know what, could have won it, could have lost it, but we go again. We're still 6 points ahead. The pressure is on City. People talk about City are going to beat us at the Etihad. They have to win that game. And I don't think that's what people realize. We don't have to win that.
Completely and utterly agree.
I don't understand where the pundits are coming from. And just one more point, because I know I'm talking a bit long here.
No,
one more point I just want to make. So the last point I just want to make. People talk about the Etihad being this difficult game. In my opinion, this game today was the most difficult game in the last 9 games that we had.
Absolutely.
Because Liverpool are a team that will come at you. The Liverpool is a team that will, like they did to us in the second half. City don't have that. I've watched their games. They don't play like that. We can get at City. Southampton could have beaten City yesterday, in my opinion. If they get a second goal, if they get 2 goals in the first half, they could have won that game.
I agree. I think Liverpool are stylistically very difficult. Very different than City, and I think Liverpool are the kind of team that we struggle to deal with more because they can match us for energy and almost presence and the atmosphere of Anfield. So I actually get what you mean, but we know that City are brilliant, so let's see what we can do. What was your name again, sorry?
It's Lee Jacobs from South Africa.
Lee,
Thank
fantastic
you, Lee.
Call. Absolute pleasure chatting to you. Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
Yeah, some great points. Here we go. All Pissed Up is the name of... It's a good name. It says, ridiculous. You haven't won at the Etihad in how long? Go check. You're so delusional. Listen. This is like... You've heard something no one said. No one ever said that going to the Etihad was easy.
Absolutely.
No one ever said we have a good record there. No one ever said that we expect to win there. What we're saying is, in my opinion, the way Arsenal play, and over the last 5-10 years, Anfield has been far more of a pressure cooker that we haven't handled more than the Etihad.
And I don't even think the situation with the Etihad is us going there and not playing well. It's just we haven't played well against City for the last few years. I'll be honest with you, the Etihad itself doesn't scare me that much. If we look at our run of games, I'm more concerned about St James's Park than I am the Etihad. In my personal opinion. But that's not. But I think it's always going to be a good game against Manchester City. It doesn't matter what stadium it's at. But if you're talking about an away ground in the atmosphere, I think you're looking more at St James's Park.
I think Man City are unbelievable. I think they've got to their best now pretty much. You've seen that over the last 5, 6, 7 games. And the Etihad's going to be a really difficult task because City are so good, not because there's an Etihad factor.
Exactly.
But, who knows? Maybe
that's what I meant.
Maybe they will just play their football and beat us. But we'll see. We'll see. Dave Martin says, James, you are one deluded Arsenal fan. Come tell me on AFTV Plus. That's the beauty of FanZone. You can come and say it to my face. So come join us. We got Dr. Rishi, by the way. Kieran says you never walk alone in the comments. I just want to say fair play to Liverpool. I thought they showed loads of fight, and actually for a team that have had very little to be happy about this season, I thought they played really, really well.
Well done with your draw, guys.
You know, I sort of a bit of credit to Liverpool there. We're about to get on Dr. Rishi. Just a quick quote from Odegaard. He says, on the draw versus Liverpool, he says, they created a lot of chances. Aaron was very good back there and saved us. Frustrated not to win, but we have to take the point and move on. Against this team, you need to be very good on the ball. If you give the ball away, they will run at you, and the fans create momentum. I don't think giving the ball was so much our problem. I think we were just a bit chaotic at the back, and then when it opened up, we didn't really create many opportunities. He's back in the Comp City fan. I'm glad the Etihad doesn't scare you. We will see you there. I never said that. But
that was me. Cool. That was me. I think he's talking to me.
Oh, come for him then. All right, let's bring on Dr. Rishi.
Hi, Dr. Rishi.
Hi guys, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
I spoke to you a few weeks ago. Actually, I was talking about how we should sacrifice the Sporting Lisbon game. And when Saliba got injured, I was like, oh god. But listen, so I kind of agree with the last guy from South Africa. You know, I was equally angry, gutted, disappointed, devastated, but this is not catastrophic. And actually, it's really weird, but listen, we made a lot of mistakes in this game, as you said, but some of the play in the first 35 minutes, I didn't think we could win the league before this game, I'll be honest with you, but now I genuinely believe we can after watching this game, because I think there seems to be this presumption that we are going to lose at Etihad, which is why everybody said if we draw today, if we lose at the Etihad, they win all the games, they're champions. I think a lot of people are not factoring the fact that Bayern Munich, the Champions League is starting next week. If they win against Munich, which I'm really hoping they will, the Real Madrid semi-final is Everton away is going to be in between those two games in a week, and Everton are definitely not going to be safe by that game. They've also got Brighton away as well, so I think there's this presumption that, you know, we're going to lose at the Etihad. You know, the fact that we can't win at Newcastle, we always knew we'd have to win at Newcastle. We knew we'd have to beat West Ham away. You know, we've got to win these games. So I don't think this is catastrophic. I really don't. I think for me, it's just a case of move on. 8 games left. Take the positives. We got out of here relatively unscathed. And we just have to take the positives. I have to start believing in the team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the team believe in them. So do you think, Frank, the team will have come away from it going, look, really disappointed with how it went, but wow, do we believe we're going in the right direction?
No, absolutely. And I think this is the point that I had earlier, in the sense that I think, obviously, I don't think they'll be gutted about the result overall. I think they'll be a little bit pissed off about the way it happened, but you've got to use that as a source of motivation going into the last 8 games.
Yeah, I agree. A really nice super chat here, by the way, from JMA says, your fans class as per for the 97. You can still win the title. Good luck. And look, I've always felt like a real mutual respect between Arsenal and Liverpool. I'm not really sure why Liverpool fans want City to win it. Maybe because they don't want Arteta to have but some fans don't want Arteta to have as many titles as Klopp or something. I don't know. I think this Liverpool team, unfortunate. I think this Liverpool team could and should really have 3 titles, and in another year probably do, but Man City have been so unbelievable. But that's the level we've got to get to. And the thing is, Rishi, is that I'm not thinking about, I'm thinking about the title now. And it's kind of, and I said earlier in the show that all eyes are on the next 8 games. But I believe this Arsenal team are here to stay. I do believe that we've got years of competing in us. And so to go and come out with a draw when we really easily could have lost it, I do think we're gonna take something from that, even if it does leave us slightly short for this title, which is gutting.
Do you know, boys, what it reminds me a little bit of is back in 2005 when Man U sort of had Rooney and Ronaldo. Remember that Chelsea kind of under Jose sort of were rising, and everybody said Man U are probably not going to challenge again, but they had a nucleus of 2 amazing world-class young players to build it around. I kind of see that with Saka, Martinelli, maybe ESR if he comes back as well. I see that there's a real core of, I don't see this as being a Leicester in 2016. I really don't think, we've lost our chance, we're never going to challenge again. I really don't. And for today, for me, was the first time I started believing it, because I'm one of these sort of stato geeks who looks at fixtures miles ahead for every team and sort of thinking, okay, we're going to lose at Liverpool, we're going to lose at the Etihad, and then we've got a Man City, you've got to draw somewhere, we've got to find a place they're going to lose points. But I didn't think we could play like that the way we played in the first 40 minutes at Anfield. I didn't think we could play like that.
I've heard about these teams, but I was only 3 years old in 2005, so I don't quite remember it. But I understand where you're coming from.
Rishi, absolute pleasure chatting to you.
I remember the match at Old Trafford, the 50th games. That was the devastating match, but I remember those days. So but no, I think there's a really good nucleus to build around. Like, I can see us challenging now for a few years, I think in the cold light of day, I think we've got to all get behind the team now and just say, right, it's gutting. I think we lost a bit of control in that second half. For me, it wasn't so much that we invited the pressure, it was more about us in possession. I kept thinking on the edge of the box, we were just playing around with it, just get it away sometimes. I think they did have a lot of attacks. I know you said about the XG, but I think a lot of it was us giving the ball away, whereas in the first half, we were brilliant in possession. I thought, and that's why I thought taking Odegaard off, maybe we just needed that control in possession, which we kind of lacked a little bit. But anyway, it is what it is.
Rishi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Rishi did touch on City's fixtures, and look, now that we may need a little bit of a favour, let's just remind ourselves of their fixtures. They've got Bayern Munich in the Champions League at home. Before they've got Leicester City at 5:30 on Saturday next week. I'm really not expecting Leicester to do much, although they've done a few things at the Etihad before. They then go away to Bayern Munich in the Champions League. They then have a trip to Wembley against Sheffield United. They've then got Brighton away as their game in hand, but that hasn't been...
The date for it hasn't been confirmed yet.
No. Arsenal is then a Wednesday night. Then they're away at Fulham. Then they're at home to West Ham. Then they're at home to Leeds. Then they're away to Everton. Then they're at home to Chelsea. Then they're away to Brentford. I think my feeling on those is that I expect they will win every single game. I'm not including us. I think we can do something. But could I see them worked hard? I don't mean losing.
Yeah.
I mean worked hard, like Palace away a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Could I see them worked hard? Fulham away, Everton away, Brentford away.
If you look at it,
I could see them worked hard.
If you look at it, for me, they've definitely got the easier run of games in the league. But these games that they've got in the middle of that, I say in the middle of that, it's a Champions League quarter final. With these, as long as they stay in the Champions League and as long as they stay in the FA Cup, those games in the middle of that are going to be slightly hard. Obviously, I know City have got strength in depth, so regardless, they're going to field a great team no matter what the game is. But those games in the middle, the Champions League games and the FA Cup games, that's going to affect those Premier League games because, they're a team that still haven't won the Champions League. I know how you feel. So they're going to want to focus on that. I think as long as Man City stay in the Champions League, that's going to be their primary focus because that's what they want. They want that Champions League trophy.
I think they've shown that they're able to challenge on both fronts. I think they're just that
But
good.
if you ask a City fan, what do they want, Champions League or Premier League? They're going to say the Champions League. So I think in Pep's head, I think he needs to win that Champions League as well. There's been a lot of investment to not win a European trophy. So they've got that dangling over them.
Putting the pressure back on.
Definitely. So I think I hope they at least get to the final because then that's not 100%
of their...
keep going, as long as they get to the final, couldn't care less if they won it or not, because their attention is not 100% on the Premier League.
I agree.
Our attention is 150% on the Premier League because it's the only competition that we're still in.
West Ham away, Southampton at home, Man City away, Chelsea at home. Those are our next 4.
Like I said, we've got the harder run of fixtures, but we've shown the fight. We've shown the ability this season.
I think we can get 10 out of 12 in that. I think we can.
Is that with the draw being at the Etihad?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so as well.
I think we can.
Yep.
We might not.
I
think we can. And then we're waiting. Newcastle, yeah, they're fighting for top 4. They are absolutely looking like they did at the beginning of the season. Very good team. But, come on, I think we can beat them. I think we can.
Mm-hmm.
Brighton at home, Forest away, Wolves at home. And I think that might be the one thing in this fixture list that looks better for City. That might be the one thing we have in favour against them. Is not just that they've got maybe Champions League to negotiate, cup finals, or all that. I also think it's that if you look at their last games, Everton away, Chelsea at home, Brentford away, those are their last 3. And somewhere likely squeezed in there is going to be the Brighton away.
Mm-hmm.
So
massive game.
So actually, that could be a really kind of awkward way to end it. But do you know what? I think, having looked at that, I think they've got 3 awkward games there. They've got the Brighton game, obviously. That's what I mean, awkward, not difficult.
Awkward.
Like Newcastle, I think, is a difficult game. Absolutely. The Etihad is obviously a very hard game. But I think they've got a sprinkle of awkward fixtures that you just hope.
I'm looking, when you talk about the awkward ones, I'm looking at Fulham, I'm looking at Brighton, and I'm also looking at Brentford, actually. I think Brentford could take a challenge to them.
Who knows?
Could you imagine that? It comes down to Brentford winning us the league on final day.
That'd be amazing. Right, let's get the final callers. Who is joining us? We've got Gerard. Let's get Gerard in. We have quite a few callers, and I'm going to make sure that we get everyone's thoughts. So we're going to be quite quick, unfortunately. Hey, Gerard, welcome to AFTV. How you doing?
Frustrated, but proud as well. Especially with the way the lads played in the first 35 minutes. Not many teams have actually went to Anfield and actually played Liverpool completely off the park.
Yeah, well, we did in the first half. Why do you think the second half we couldn't hack the pressure they put us under?
I don't know whether it was a mixture of, let's say, Xhaka's reacting with Trent Alexander-Arnold, and obviously Robinson, and the whole thing with Robinson and the linesman as well.
That was all very weird, wasn't it?
Yeah,
strange one.
Maybe that's one thing that got the crowd a bit rallied up as well, like so.
Yeah.
But still, we still created chances as well in that second half as well. Unfortunately, didn't take our chances. But sure,
I agree.
Our main thing now is to move on against West Ham, and the good thing is that when we do beat West Ham, let's say, we're still 6 points ahead. We've got Southampton then, like so at home. Beat them, we go 9 points ahead of City. So that puts even more pressure on City. At the game at the Etihad, and not to mention they've got Champions League, they've got FA Cup, and the longer they stay there, the better it is. Like so.
The longer they stay in those competitions, the more it benefits Arsenal. That's the way I see it.
I just think, I think a lot of it is going to come down to what we can do at the Etihad. But what a month April's going to be, where we've got this year, we've got Liverpool out the way now, City to come, some other tough games. I'm not writing off West Ham. They've got 2 wins in their last 3. Let me ask you, do you think we're going to win the league?
I think so, yeah. I think once we get past the likes of, let's say, West Ham, City, Newcastle, we can pick up around 7 points out of there. We're going to want to win the league. I'd be more confident.
Let's hope. Pleasure chatting to you. Thank you for joining us. Sorry it was brief, but we do appreciate the call a lot. Thank you. Who have we got next joining us? We have Elliot. Elliot's in the house.
Hi, Elliot.
How you doing?
Gentlemen, how are you?
Well, could be worse.
I'm still happy. I'm actually still happy. I don't know if it's just me.
I don't know if I'd go as far as say happy.
Not happy.
I am accepting of it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, listen. Happy Easter to all. I am wearing my Jesus kit today. He is risen.
I saw the Europa League badge there as well. Hopefully it's the last ones.
yeah, it will be. It will be that as well. That as well. Indeed. But let's put this in perspective, people. Gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Of the top 5 sides, which teams have taken points away from Anfield like us?
City lost, United lost, Newcastle lost, Brighton drew.
Tottenham in the top 5 right now?
Oh yeah, they might be. Lol.
They're probably on the edge there.
They go to Liverpool in a few weeks soon.
That's right. So of the top 5, I think all the teams have lost. The only team to have taken points away have been the Arsenal. Now again, we should have taken away 3, and I wish we could have taken away 3. But let's come into the church and let's get some perspective here. If not for the God-given talents of our man, Mr. Ramsdale, we would be put to the sword today and, left to the lions like the Christians way back in the day. And we have to take perspective from that, in that our season is not done. Okay. As we know, Jesus is risen. And he is risen to the challenge as the rest of our team has, to the point where now we are still 6 points ahead. So let us take heart in what we have experienced today, and let us take heart in the experience that our young charges have brought forth to Anfield, because not any other team in the top 5 have done it.
I agree.
It's just us.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
So we need to know that this team is destined for great things.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
No doubt about that.
Is that great? I've got to ask you, is the greatness coming this season?
Yes.
You think we're winning it?
Yes.
Love it. Love it.
That's all that needs to be said, gentlemen.
I completely agree.
We are winning it this year. And to those who think we are not, they're either hating or can't see the forest for the trees.
I hope you're right.
I like you, Elliot. I really do.
They can't see the forest for the trees, gentlemen. The writing's on the wall, but they just choose not to read.
We could still lose it, but we could still lose it. But I think I've taken a lot of heart from the way Arsenal played today and the commitment of the players, and I think we're going in a good direction. So I'm happy with the club. That's where I stand with it. Elliot, would love to hear more from you, but unfortunately there's 5 others and we've already gone over time, and yeah, I want to make sure that we get everyone's thoughts. But Elliot, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Elliot. Take care.
Happy Easter, everyone. Jesus is risen.
See you soon. Who have we got next
Elliot's
to join
great.
us? Tom Shah, come join us. Tom.
How's it going, Tom?
Hi.
How you doing, Tom?
Frustrated, like everybody.
You're not the Tom in the comments that was slagging me off, are you?
No.
I had to check.
Where is he, Tom?
Just to make sure, I really appreciate everything you say, James.
Thank you.
I know you a lot in all the chat.
There's one.
You do.
Thank you.
I would say the result is not bad, as we said here. It's frustrating. The way it happened, I think, but the result is good in the end. It's better than losing, which should have happened. Of course, regarding the title, everything is still open. I just like to remind everybody that when City beat us in February, everybody were like, "That's it. No way they're gonna lose some points. That's it. The title's finished. Just give it to them." And a game after that, they drew at Nottingham Forest when they conceded in the 87th minute.
Agreed.
So anything can still happen. City are not guaranteed to win all their games. We're not guaranteed to win all our games. We just have to take it game by game.
Yeah, I completely agree, Tom.
Regarding the game itself, which I do have a bit of criticism. First of all, Arteta, regarding the substitutions, I think they were a bit late, especially with Zinchenko, because he was completely drained out from keeping Salah and Trent Alexander. He should have been taking off and put up with Kivini before the goal, and I feel bad for him because you saw his face when he was just replaced just after the goal. You saw him on the bench.
Very emotional.
Yeah, and I think, especially if people don't see it as well, but in the first goal, the Salah goal, I think it was a bit of fault as well because he lost.
Hello.
Yeah,
Sorry, I just couldn't help but smile there.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, he likes to do that. He lost Salah a bit, I think. And the second thing is, I know you don't like to go against referees, but I think Paul Tierney today
ruined the game.
He ruined the game. It's not just, it's the point that I saw how this game is going to go, the way the second half is. There was this moment when Martinelli was going through, and he was and Konate actually kicked him in the head while he was heading it the ball, and he was going through. And not only that, he didn't even get a. Not only did Konate didn't even get a yellow, he didn't even get a foul. And at that point, I realized that this is how it's going to be. And he just, and as well regarding the Shaka incident, it's the same thing. I mean, Konate, and this is, by the way, my mistake regarding Shaka, because when you see that this thing happened, when they start getting fouls and or not getting fouls, like Konate, he pushed him, which was obviously, and they didn't give him anything. Shaka shouldn't go to Trent like this. He went too hard. It was obvious. It came out of frustration. It kind of lost it for a moment.
I agree. He didn't need to get involved.
Yeah, and it sparks it, and it also gave the referee a kind of, I can now do that. I can now like give them the ability to be a bit more aggressive or very aggressive, and just gives them it. And I think this is what kind of affected the game, because when they went into being a bit aggressive, and we just didn't go up a level of aggressiveness like they did, and I think it's felt a bit of PSD, post-traumatic regarding last season, and this is how it is.
Tom, just very quickly,
changes would have changed a bit the atmosphere. If Arteta would have reacted sooner, I think it would have affected.
Do you think we'll win it? Do you think we're gonna go over the line and win the league?
Wow, it's gonna go to the wire. I think we're gonna nick it, but it's gonna be like last season when it was like a point or two different. It's not like gonna be easy. Nobody. I mean, everybody thinks that it should have been easy, or like we're gonna finish the league 5 points ahead of City. Like, no way. It's gonna go, I think, by a point, or hopefully not by goal difference, because goal difference is bad. But it's gonna be very close.
It's tight.
But I do think.
Pleasure chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Right, who have we got next joining us? We've got Larry. Let's get Larry in. Hey, Larry.
How's it going, Larry?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Can you hear me clear?
We can hear you clearly. So we've got to keep it quite quick, unfortunately. But great to chat to you again. And what's your kind of, where are you left with it after all of that?
I'm with Frank. Very hopeful. Oh, congrats, James! You called it in your pre-game 2-2 draw.
I don't feel great about it. I don't feel great about it. But yeah.
You saw something that we didn't. So kudos to you. Just a couple of quick points. I know time's of the essence now, but I'm with you. We can throw the toys out of the pram. Now it's a time for consolidation. The good thing is that we only have one game every week. I'd really like to see Saliba back. Gosh, I'd like to see Saliba back.
Yeah, me too.
Arteta made a couple of... Sorry?
Yeah, no, me too. I agree.
Arteta made some tactical errors. I thought he left Zinchenko on too long. Why he brought on Kivia, I can't understand that.
I agree.
So I think he made some mistakes within the game, which obviously didn't help us. But thank God for Ramsdale. Thank God for that tip save with Salah on the prowl. And overall, that point was important, because the lads are back heading to London, and they're not going to hold their heads down. They can be angry, but they could use that fire in their belly during the next training sessions. And Arteta can also learn from those tactical mistakes that I feel that he made. So overall, I still feel positive. Last week I said, ask me this week how I feel about us winning the league. 75%. 75%. I think we can. But game by game, and if we can get Saliba, if we get Saliba back, that 75 goes up to 85. Because we knew they were going to play at the top. They were going to use the pace of those the forwards of Liverpool, which they were able to, and they used the space over on Zinchenko with Salah, especially in the second half, caused a lot of chaos. So anyhow, that's just those points I want to make. We can still do it game by game. Saliba comes back, that increases our chance even more.
Yeah, I agree. I think you've summed up perfectly. Great to hear your thoughts, Larry. Thank you. Sorry, it's quicker than normal, but pleasure to chat.
Understood. Take care,
Let's go to Stephen and Alexander. Hey, how are we doing?
Hey, James, if those guys who are mad about the positivity talk are still on, they're going to be pretty pissed off because we're a positive bunch here.
Well, none of them have called in. That's all I'm saying. AFT, the only fan channel that I know that is allowing people to come in using the app to just sort of chat to us live like this, and they've got a lot to say in the comments. That's fine. I don't actually think their opinions are crazy, but it's the fact that they get so offended by ours when we're more positive, and they've got every opportunity to come and chat to us. So credit to you guys. You're always there to put your opinions out there, and take it away.
Yeah, James, obviously plaudits to Ramsdale and everybody else, but hey, everybody's talking about Saliba coming back, but since Rob Holding has come into the team, has he really put a foot wrong? I thought he was absolutely excellent again today.
I wouldn't say excellent. I think he's been fairly good. I think he's been better than everyone expected. I think that's the biggest point. But obviously, it's a bit of a silly penalty to give away. Yeah,
certainly, it was a tough penalty. But I think your point is right. He's been much better than what everybody expected him to be. And if you're going to win a championship, it's going to take a whole team, a whole squad, not just the first 11. So big up to Rob Holding for everything that he's done. In essence of time, I'll let Alex also say something here real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
When people say we've improved, and someone can ask, how have we improved? Look at games like today. Last year, we would never thought we would even have a chance today. Everyone said that, hey, look how good we've been doing this year. We have a chance today. And that's all because of, number one, the improvements we've made to the team. Ever since Zinchenko has came into the team, Jesus has came into the team, the mentality has changed around this club, and everyone's thinking so positively now. And number two, look how they played. They didn't get. All right, there was a little bit of some chippiness in the game, but I thought that maybe last year we could have lost the game because we wouldn't have the players, and it would just be a game that would slip away. It would just be a game that would slip away, and we'd let our heads go. But I was really proud of today because there's still that lingering doubt: are we a championship team? Will we make it? Will we get over the line? And with games like today, battling it out against Liverpool, who everyone's been saying that they've been bad this year, but at home they've been good, and it's still a really tough place to go. So when we think of that, when we think have we improved, we just have to look at games like this and take it one game at a time.
I agree. One game at a time. Everyone's going, but it's in their hands. Yeah, but if they beat us at the Etihad, let's just get past West Ham now. Let's just get past West Ham.
That's the thing. That's the thing, James. We all talk about these games as though it's just one game that's going to deal. We have no idea. That's probably the best thing about the Premier League is you do not know which team is going to win on any given weekend. I watched City's game yesterday, and in the first half, they were on the course, and they could have gone behind a couple of times in that game.
It was not a 4-1 game for me, not at all.
It wasn't a 4-1 game. So we just got to keep our heads in the game, one game at a time. James, I tell you what, even if we do not end up winning this, the excitement, the joy that I've had because of this championship run
absolutely
has been worth it. And so, you guys have been there late, so we're just going to leave you with a little bit more of a positive vibe,
I want to take it away. I'm waiting for it. There it is.
Supporting.
Thank you very much, guys.
Everywhere around the world, these Arsenal fans. Amazing. Thank you. Let's get Daniel on. Daniel's our final caller.
Hi, Daniel.
You're rounding off the show.
That's good. Hi, guys. Good evening.
How are you? How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling positive about the game.
Frustrated?
Positive.
Oh, positive. Sorry. Yeah, positive. Yeah. Good. I'm positive.
How can I be frustrated with the 2-2 draw at Anfield? The stadium have not won in 6 or 7 seasons, so I'm positive about the game. If you see, like, I don't know if you can see what I wrote down here after the game against Brentford. I wrote down the whole matches we're going to play, the 17 games, and I actually wrote the teams and the points we're going to get from each of those games. So apart from the Manchester City game, which we lost, and every other result have been spot on, and Aston Villa, I thought we were going to get 1 point. We got 3 points, so we're on the course of getting 42 points from the remaining 17 games, which I think will be enough for us to win the league. So I
really hope so. I really hope so. And look, the thing I will say, and no one wants to hear this, and I get it, if Man City really do win every game between now and the end of the season, they'll have put a run of something like 12 wins from their last 13 or whatever, and you've got to say, that is,
you've just been with
a striker who scored as many goals as he has. You've got to say they would deserve it.
It's
off
impeccable.
That, as good as we've been, but still lots of good football to play. And I think we are looking right now like a team that can do it. Yeah, we dropped points today, haven't been 2-0 up, but yeah, I think we can take the positives.
Even if Manchester City wins all their game to the end of the season, it still doesn't make them champion, because you have to go on the goal difference, which we're just 5
goals. I think they've got
it's that close though. It is close.
It's close. We're just 5 goals behind.
Is it only 5 goals?
It's only 5 goals. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Let me get the table.
So I guess that's one City drop points and a heavy Arsenal win. I mean, maybe.
Which we can do. Just
maybe.
5 goals.
5 goals.
It would really annoy me if there's actually not a lot in it, but it would really annoy me. Southampton and Liverpool, if they couldn't just keep it together.
Just a quick point I want to bring in. Would you have been happy if Arsenal were 2 goals down and came back to Gerard's game 2-2?
100%.
Been over the moon.
100%.
So why are fans mourning? Why is there meltdown in the fan base?
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Because there was a real opportunity that we missed. I think that's what it is.
But you have to understand, Liverpool were the better team about 70% of the game today.
I agree. So, I think second half especially.
So even before from the point they got their goal, even before the Ganishaka incident, they had two chances with Arnold to slide the shot towards the through line. So
yeah,
I don't think we should be mourning right now. We should actually be thankful for Ramsdale giving us a brilliant performance.
Well, Ramsdale's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're right to mention him. You're right, and I love that your calculations say we'll still do it. Let's hope you're right. Pleasure chatting to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And one more thing, the elephant is on top of the tree.
I like it.
Thank you so much for rounding off the show with us. Right, that's been full time. Oh, what a day.
That was a long one.
Emotional roller coaster.
It was a very long one.
I'm going to get some fried chicken after this.
That's a good idea, actually. That.
Look, here's where I am with it all. Having spoken to everyone, By the way, everyone who slagged off my opinions in the comment section, none of you called.
You got some heat today, I saw it.
Here's my thinking. Here's my thoughts on it all. Ultimately, the bigger picture. Do I think Arsenal... do I think it's disappointed that Arsenal had the 2-goal lead and threw it away? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do I think that Liverpool, on another day, put in the kind of performance and created the kind of chances that would deserve the win?
Absolutely.
I think that too. Could we, even at 2-2, have won the game and
Absolutely.
in the second half had chances to win it? Yeah. Then I asked myself, I'm just asking myself questions here. Is this a Liverpool team that have won it all in the last 5 years? It is. And I know they're not having the season they were. And I know that we had a really big opportunity to keep this in our hands. I know we did.
The way I see it, it could have gone
okay.
It could have gone either way, and I think ultimately both sets of fans will be happy with this result. Should be. I'm not saying they are, because there's obviously the comment section says different. But I personally believe
we're not
that
happy,
both sets.
I think understanding.
Okay, I'll take that. I think both sets of fans should be understanding of this result.
I also think, by the way, everyone who's like, Arsenal bottled it. Arsenal. So and I said this earlier in the show, do 2-0s that end in draws have to be bottles?
No. It's an awkward scoreline. Very awkward scoreline.
I don't think Bournemouth bottled it against us when they were 2-0 up. And you can say, yeah, but you're Arsenal, you're the better team, you're top of the league, you're winning at Anfield. I get it. I agree it's not a fair comparison in that sense. But what I would say is, Bournemouth lost that game because we played brilliantly, created the chances, and we scored the goals. Liverpool played brilliantly, created a lot of chances, scored the goals, and didn't win. I think there's Liverpool fans, I haven't spoken to any, I reckon there are Liverpool fans who are delighted they pulled it back, but also thinking, we could have won that game. So I just think it's one of those. I think it's just one of those, yes, it's in City's hands, but it's in our hands too. Don't forget that. And when I say in our hands, that doesn't mean we have to go and win at the Etihad for it to be in our hands. That means don't lose there. And I think that makes it a really, really fascinating title race. For the neutrals, I'm sure they're enjoying it. But Arsenal, I want to say, players, look, it was chaotic. It was a bit of a mess. Arteta, I think he got some things wrong, but what a valiant effort from everyone. Valiant, is that the word? I respect the effort and everything that the players put into that. And yeah, we didn't come out with what we wanted, but we didn't come out with a bad result either. That's my feeling.
I'm going to say it once again, and I say it at the end of most of the streams, and this is really going to cause a stir. Champions mentality. We've gone to Anfield, and we've got a point.
The champions drop a 2-0 lead. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but to cancel that out, champions go to Anfield and get a point.
Yeah,
not many teams do.
I think.
I think at
this stage of the season, I think most put in a performance and come away with something. I agree. All right, we'll leave it there. What a show! What a day! Thank you all who called. Thank you for everyone who comes, puts themselves on camera, chats to us, and gives us their thoughts. Everyone's largely positive that we've spoken to. Some of the comments not as positive. That's fine. I invite anyone, whether you agree with us or not. We're not horrible people. Like, come and debate with us. I'm not over the moon, everything's great when it comes to that result and that performance. But I wanted to focus on the positives because I think it's important for the players as well that we focus on the positives. I want to try and spread that feeling more rather than go look at everything we did wrong and go, we bottled it, but the standards are in the mud. The standards that you criticise are the standards from the team, the manager that got us into this position
in the first place.
Final super chat to round off. William says, man like James and Frank, big up to you both. I understand it's disappointing. We've got a point and we move. I'm proud of the boys today. Also to all the United fans in the chat, I'll take a draw over a 7-0 any day of the week.
Abso-friggin-lutely.
Big thanks to everyone. Thank you to production for putting this all together. Thank you to everyone who joined us. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this. Subscribe. Go and get the fan cams all out on AFTV now. I need food. I need a bath. I need something. I need
a breather. That's what I need.
Today. Long day.
Has been. Take care.